set up real quick. Hello, SHL Universe, and welcome to our very first, hopefully not our last episode of the J Tonight. The show is brought to you by the SHL and is specifically for all things SMJHL related. I'm your host, Patrick. Along with me for this crazy ride is Toaster. How are you doing today, Toaster?
I'm doing pretty good. Excited to get this thing finally going.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks in the making, and now we finally get to take off with it. And a lot to cover tonight. A little bit of housekeeping to go through.
Delay on happening. That's all right.
No, we work through it. Through it. So, for this being the first episode, go through, the J tonight, we're going to stick strictly to J subjects, teams, players, and history. We want to give the J the love that it deserves for the next hour. We hope that throughout the show, we will be able to bring in J legends, J GMs, and hopefully some new creates to just give so many different looks at what the SHL brings us. So first, just to introduce ourselves, my name's Patrick. My player is Patrick Rail. I'm currently in my second year with Anchorage Armada. I was a new create in season 82 class, and I got drafted to Anchorage in the third round. And then I'll let Toaster tell you about him.
Peek into the appliance. Mike Victor is also in his second year. It's not a Toaster. I've been to see. That's fun. With the St. Louis Scarecrows, drafted second overall, living up to the impossible to reach hype of previous second overalls. Caliph and Cake, big shoes to fill.
Big shoes to fill, but you did it because you ended up going second overall in the SHL. So
we're trying.
That was, and they never told us when we came into the league that the first overall gets a really cool card created for them. The second and third end up getting chained to a basement to do podcast for the league. So that's our prize for being second and third.
Second, third, get to work.
So throughout the show, we'll have a couple different segments. One of the things that I want to do is every episode I want to have a giveaway. So the giveaway is going to be for a 100,000 SHL dollars for you to buy a Ruby card pack. We don't want you to spend it on anything else. We really want you to buy those Ruby card packs. If you haven't been doing the card openings and stuff like that, they're a blast. There's some really cool cards in there, and it's just a fun little add-on to the league. So tonight's trivia question, all you have to do is just put it in the comment section, and those of you who get it right will win the card pack. Who was the season 66 4-Star Cup winner? All you have to do is just put the answer in the chat. That's all you have to do. So, but let's get on to our first segment since the sim just finished. Let's go into, I'm going to share my screen. We'll pull up a little bit of it. So this is just right off of the first one. Okay, that's not working. That's not what I want to do. Oh. Bear with us. We're working with a couple things.
We're new here.
So, we're new. We're trying to get the hang of it. We're going through. If you have any questions anytime throughout the show, post them in the chat. We'll get them up on the board. So this is the current J standings. So we just kind of want to touch. What I'd like to do is we missed our chance to do season predictions. Just because we kind of got started on this a little bit late with a lot of other things going on. So let's look at how the first week of Sims went while also kind of equating it to where you thought these teams were going to be. So as it stands right now, Kelowna is absolutely running away with the league right now in this first week, going 13-2-0, 26 points. They have 0.867 point percentage on it, 94 goals for, 41 goals against with a plus 53 goal differential, 7-1 at home, 6-1 on the road. Just absolutely
crushing it.
Yeah, first in goals for, first in goals against, first in goal differential, just all across the board. First, Kelowna is just doing a great job. I felt like they were a top team. I saw that they have a lot of great players, a lot of 425 players on that roster. They had a great end of the year last year, so I had them. I think I had them second in the North. It's not a huge surprise that they're absolutely just killing it right now.
Yeah, their forward group is the highest TPE one, I think, by a pretty large margin.
Yep. I mean, they're already 1 week in and they already scored 94 goals.
Yeah.
And I think one of the J questions is which team's going to score 200 goals? Is that it?
I believe so.
So they're halfway there in week 1. We still have 3 more weeks to go for them to keep putting up those numbers. So absolutely crazy. One of my shockers is second place Quebec. I thought that they were going to move kind of more to the middle of the pack, but they've kept up. I mean, they're still up there sitting 10-3-3, 23 points, 0.719 point percentage, which kind of drops them down, as you can see, down to 4th place in the league when you factor in the points won on the games. But 72 goals for, 47 against with a plus 25 goal differential. I felt like they had a really strong team last year. I didn't think that they were going to lose a whole lot of steps, but I thought it would kind of shift down a little bit, and they haven't shifted down. They're still full on running, doing what Quebec does.
Which I believe they're sitting at 12th in the TPE ranking, which is impressive that they're still way up there in the standings.
Yep. And then coming up, 3rd place. This one actually shocked me. St. Louis, 3rd place, 11-4-0, 22 points. They are 0.733 on the point percentage, which is 4th in the league. 72 goals for, 44 against, plus 28, which is good enough for 2nd in the league on goal differential. 6-1 at home, 5-3 on the road. I had them as kind of like a 3rd, 4th place team in the South. Yeah, but they're up there, and you guys are playing great. I mean, you can't
a lot better
complain
than last
about
season. Can't complain at all.
Nope. And you're only a point behind Quebec City with a game in hand.
Yep.
So just a great job all around for St. Louis. One of the other teams that I thought was going to kind of move down to the middle of the pack, but they didn't, is Carolina, sitting here 4th, 11-3-0, 22 points. They are 2nd in point percentage, tied with Vancouver. And then going across, 62 goals for, 42 against, plus 20, which puts them 5th in the league in goal differential. But coming off that 4-star cup win, they're still looking like a top team.
Yeah, a lot of turnover, changed GMs, still looking the exact same.
Still staying very, very solid. Now, going next, Vancouver. This is a team that I thought they were going to be in first, which they're still kind of at the top of the league on this right now, sitting 10-2-2 with 22 points. They do have a game in hand against you guys and 2 games in hand against Quebec City. 66 goals for, 43 against, plus 23, which is, I think, good enough for 4th in the league. 4-1-1 at home, 6-1-1 on the road. The biggest thing about these top 5 teams right now is you could see that their home and away records do not change too much. They're solid at home, solid away, and that's what it takes to win the J. But I had them as first place team, and I don't think that they will have an issue with that.
Not at all.
And then coming in 6th is UConn. I had them kind of towards the bottom of the league. They are playing really great hockey right now. 10-6-0, 20 points. Just kind of moving along. They're starting to click, and they may become a very scary team.
Recent hit a little bit of a slouch there in the second
They
half
did.
of the week, but
They
still
did.
near the top.
Yep. And I think that if I'm not mistaken, I think that they were the ones that gave up the win to Thunder Bay. If I'm not mistaken, I'll have to double check that.
Yep, I have that on the notes here.
So yeah, I'm glad you took notes because
1-14.
1-14, and they got that win against you. UConn's they're staying towards the top of the standings, but they've also had some questionable losses.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's kind of like, how is the sim going to treat them, and going that way.
Very streaky.
And then just kind of going a little bit faster. Maine sitting down at 7th, 9-4-2 with 20 points, 0.66 on the point percentage. Colorado, I felt like they were going to be more towards the top half. They're just kind of middling right now. 9-7-0 with 18 points, 55 goals for, 60 against, -5 on the goal differential. Great Falls, 8-5-2, 18 points, 600 on the point percentage, 53 goals for, 47 against with a +6.
Good to see them finally getting some success after last season.
Yeah, and I think that Great Falls will probably move up a little bit more. I had them a little bit higher. And I think if you look at it, they're a hot and cold team, but they're starting to heat a little bit up now.
Yep.
And then the surprise. This one was a shock to me. I had Newfoundland at the bottom. Not anything against them. They just, the TPE numbers.
They're not good.
Yeah, just not good. They lost a lot going into the season. Really felt like they were going to be bottom of the league. I picked them for last, but they're hanging in there. I mean, they're top
TPE wise, they are last, but they're still hanging in there.
They're hanging in there. 6-7-1, 13 points, 4.64 on the point percentage, 53 goals for, 62 against. They're surprised, even though they're sitting kind of bottom half of the league. The team, if you went off DP, they're going to be the bottom team, and they're not it.
Nope.
Ottawa, I felt like they're going to be a middle of the pack team. They're drifting downwards. 6-9-1, 13 points, 406 point percentage, 50 goals against, or 51 against, 54, -1 goal differential. I think that they'll move up a little bit. I don't think they're going to stay completely in the bottom half. I think that's a team that's going to start kind of making a move, and then moving on. Detroit, I really felt like Detroit was going to do a whole lot better than they're doing right now. Plenty of time, but 6-9-1. Everybody in Detroit does not like the look of that. 53 goals again, 460 goals against with a -7 goal differential. And then my pick for the winner of the South was San Diego, and they're sitting down here at 13th, 6-9-0. They were undefeated in preseason, I believe. Yeah. And then they come out. They were the top team in preseason. I will say that. I don't know if they're undefeated.
6-0-1.
6-0-1. So the overtime loss in there, but now they're sitting at 6-9-0 with only 12 points, a 400 point percentage, 43 goals for, 59 against, -16. Just kind of really shocked that that's where they are at right now. I do know that Corey's been sick this week, so maybe that's going to be the excuse, and they'll shoot up the standings next week.
Valid.
So we'll read into that a little bit more. Anchorage sitting at 14th. I knew it was going to be a rough season for Anchorage. We have a lot of new people. Even though knowing going in that it's going to be a rough season, the feeling is that the future for Anchorage is really, really bright. And it's just going to be kind of navigating these rougher waters at the start for us to really build back into it. But 4-11-0, you never like to lose 11 games in 1 week. 267 point percentage, 41 goals, 476 against. It's rough. -35 on the goal differential. Now the surprise everybody wants to talk about it are the next two. Nevada, Thunder Bay. Nevada has 17 games played. The Thunder Bay has 2 games in hand. So, the Thunder Bay could jump,
they could take
leapfrog Nevada here if they continue their winning streak, which is at 1. But 2-14-1 for Nevada, 147 point percentage, 57 goals for 97 against, -40 on the goal differential. Just a really, really bad start for Nevada. You have to think that they're having meetings right now of what can we change, what do we need to change, what is going on.
What has to happen here?
Because, this team shouldn't be in this position if you look off of TPE, look off the players. You have a great goalie in BV, and you have 97 goals going in against her in 1 week of the sim.
Saunders says everything is fine. Don't pay attention to the leaderboard.
Don't put those up there real quick for Saunders. We love you, Sandman. We want you to do good. We feel bad for you. But yeah, it's not great right now for Nevada.
Is their GM sick too? Is that the excuse?
Hey, if JFK's sick, then tell us. We will apologize next week. And root for Nevada to do a little bit better. And then the team that finally won their first game today in the sim, the last game of the sim, is Thunder Bay. 1 win, 14 losses, 2 points, 0.067 point percentage, and they've already given up 100 goals and have only scored 38. The next closest
goals against is kind of surprising because their goalies aren't too bad.
Yeah.
At least in terms of TPE.
They're not. And the team should have been a middle of the pack team. That's another talking point that we're going to get into is this 18 goals in 1 game. It's on our show sheet. We saw it earlier in the week. I don't know. Again, that's another thing of, coming from Anchorage, sitting down, third to last, it doesn't feel good, but it was expected. It's a rough season. When you're a team like Nevada and Thunder Bay, where Nevada's expectations were higher. They're, mid to top team in the league. And they're sitting down all the way down towards the bottom of the standings. And then Thunder Bay was supposed to be a mid team in the standings, and they're at the very bottom of the standings. Again, first week of Sims, a lot can change over the next week. Week to week, it's, these standings could completely shift, but some red flags going off for some teams right now.
And I'm taking a look here at that famed 18-3 game.
Yeah, that's what I was about to pull up. I might switch it over to
players here with 9 points in 1 game, 8 points in 1 game.
Not to pull that up on this one. So 11 goals in the first period. 11 goals. It was a tied second period, and then 5 goals in the third period. 68 shots. I know that's not exactly accurate. Adding it up, you got 42, 52, 63, 70 shots on goal is what these numbers are adding up to. So just a really rough game. Kelowna, you have coming up 6 goals, 2 assists, 8 points in one game. Just everybody was in the positive.
I would hope.
Just an absolute. I think this is one of the games that kind of sent questions of, do we need to look into FHM 10 a little bit more? If we need to make adjustments. I don't believe any adjustments have happened, but this was just absolute. And to get beat 18-3, but you still win the face-off battle 51-49.
Yeah.
Take something positive away. And they also led in takeaways, 18 takeaways.
Yeah, the Knights only had 8 giveaways and 5 takeaways, so they were just.
Yeah. I would
the
love to
face-offs
see.
They did win. They did something with them.
I'd love to see time of possession to see how bad that was, but it's not on here. So first week of FHM 10. I mean, we're not going to count. It should have been 12. First week of FHM 10. What are your thoughts as a watching the game?
I mean, it looks nice. I was expecting the goals to go down, but seems to be the opposite.
Yeah, goals have definitely went up.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the no intermissions.
That is nice.
Watching it, I feel like it flies by faster, even when there's. I feel like this will give us more chance to play more games, like
the live sims.
The live sims, just by how quick some of these sims are going, and just the lack of all the work that the simmers had to put into switching goalies, switching lines. The goalies have become more automated for them to be able to go that route. So I think that's been my favorite change in watching the Sims. I will say that I don't feel like my player has played well on FHM 10. I feel like I've gotten off to a horrible start. So I'm going to blame it on the Sim, and I imagine TV will join me and the other goalies will join me in saying that it's the Sims' fault and definitely not our players. Kelowna's GM said the whole team is 425 basically, so we can expose rookies. It will balance out as rookies get more TPE. So yeah, that's true. There's a lot of rookies in the league, and that's kind of where I said as an Anchorage player, we have a ton of rookies on our team, and I feel like throughout the season we're going to get better because those rookies will be earning and being able to add into their TPE, whereas our players, we can't. There's no adding to the TPE. We're capped.
Yep.
And that's what we're playing with this year. We can adjust, but other than that, that's all we can do.
A pretty solid draft class there in Anchorage. Once they start earning, it'll be a completely different story.
Yeah, and that's what I'm really excited for. Something else to really start to talk about is UConn did start 7-0 on the season. And bringing that up, they kind of cooled off a little bit, but they got out to a huge jump, beating Nevada, beating St. Louis, beating Anchorage twice, Thunder Bay, Anchorage again, and UConn before finally dropping that first game to St. Louis. Unfortunately, they also went on a 3-game losing streak in that time. So really hot start by UConn. That like I said, they've surprised me, and I think that they're going to be a dangerous team moving forward.
Sure. Just got to figure out the lines, get the chemistry going, and
yep, that is going to be the question, is just going back and forth on kind of keeping that hot streak going instead of winning and then going on a losing streak like they've done a couple times. Now let's get into league leaders. It's no surprise that a Kelowna Knight is first in goals, Mel Gula, with 17 goals on the season already. But
6 of them in that one game.
6 of them in that one game. And then coming up behind them, Bugan McGillicuddy with 16 from St. Louis. From Yukon, Mitch Matthews with 14. Scott Fortune with 14, and Aaron Noxus rounding out the top 5. Running away with assists is Swiffer Sweeper in St. Louis with 20 right now.
I believe that is more than he had all of last season.
Yeah, because he's in his second season, and
yep.
I mean, he made that huge jump into that.
He had 18 last season.
So in a week of Sims, he's blown his last season numbers out of the water. And then tied for second, 2 Kelowna players, Colton Paragecko and Dirk Deinhardt, with 19 assists each. Kazan Brasonchi with 17 assists, and tied for 5th, Joe Primo and Mel Gula, coming in with 15 each. Going down into the points, Mel Gula leading the league with 32 points, followed by his teammate Dirk Deinhardt with 28th. Then you got 2 St. Louis teammates, Bugan McGillicuddy with 26, and Swiffer Sweeper with 24. And then Scott Fortune from Maine coming in 5th place. And then the plus and minus is just all Kelowna except one Scarecrow in there. It's nothing but Knights, and then Bugan McGillicuddy. One worried Scarecrow just sitting there feeling misplaced. Going through, I'm just going to scroll through some of these. Severin Quinn with a 35% shooting percentage.
That is impressive.
Levi Bedrock and Greg Evil have put up 66 shots on the season already. Peyton McLazy isn't so lazy with the hitting. 70 hits. There has not been a fight. That is disappointing.
No disappointing fights. And a difference from HFM10 to 8, I think.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get more fights. I want more fights.
Up the sliders.
I mean, this is a great question. How much do you think 18-goal game will impact the leaderboard at the end of the season? I think, I don't know if it's going to have a huge impact, but it is going to impact it slightly. I mean, he has 6 goals from that one game. He has 17 goals total.
Would drop him down to...
dropping down to 5th. So I mean, he has that lead, but as you can see, it hasn't really affected that. The plus minus, it has. I think that this is going to even out. Plus minus is going to really even out a little bit more as the games go on, and that 18 goal game is in the rearview mirror. No fights. Our penalty minute champion right now is Pavel Mintakov. Robbie Gardner is leading the league in shots blocked with 43. Lucas Lindberg, Kim Chawan, Peyton McLazy, all with 5 power play goals, and Swiffer Sweeper with 2 shorthanded goals.
I think they might have been in the same game, too.
Might have been. Is it in that 18-point game?
He's on the Scarecrows.
Oh, that's okay.
That's how I would know.
And then we're going to go into the goalies. Leading the league in wins right now is Yuri Satoshi with 10 wins. Ebby Borner with 9 is in second from Yukon. Timo Järvinen is with 8 with the St. Louis, and Lurtz McCorr has 8 as well with Quebec City. Florence Amelia McKenzie, sorry. I'm pulling double duty today, so words are not working as well. has 7 wins. And moving over to losses, unfortunately, Jack Ryan, 10 losses. Beavy sitting there with 9. John Gibson, 0-1 plays, sitting there with 8. Johnny Hockey on my team also struggling right now, tied with 4th with 7 with cauliflower pizza.
It's interesting to see how high Ebby is on the wins and also the losses.
Yes. Well, I don't think UConn's playing another goalie. It's him. They are riding him. I think that's going to affect him overall because I do think that stamina kind of plays a part in the goalies.
Especially with how many backs-to-back.
Yeah, once you start, I think that they're going to struggle with back-to-backs because of that. But I mean, if right now he's 9-6. He's playing well. I'll give him that. Jack Ryan leads the league with 73 goals against. BV, Claude Lecaster, 58 goals against. KJ Daniels, 55. Ebby Bjorner with 50, and Johnny Hockey with 45. Rounds out the top 5. Just a really great Linus Ole, giving up only 2 goals per game for Kelowna. Martin McElmore, 2.28. Andrew Drisky, 2.46 for St. Louis. Florence Emilie McKenzie, 265. And Joe McPadstack for Carolina at 2.84. Top 5 on those. And this is, I mean, John Gibson's struggling in the losses department, but I mean, goals saved above average. He's saving 8 goals above average, which is really, really impressive.
Doing his hardest to win.
He really is.
Good enough.
Carrying that team. KJ Daniels with 453 saves. Jack Ryan with 409. Ebby Bjorner, 401. Claude Lecaster, 392, and John Gibson with 384 saves. 1 week and you face 453 pucks. That's a rough week.
Very rough. Get out the ice bath.
Leading the league in save percentage is Martin McElmore. Hansa Havrud is 2nd. Linus Ole, 3rd. Joe McPadstack coming in at 4th. And Andrew Drusky coming in at 5th. And then 3-way tie for shutouts. Ebby Bjorner, Cauliflower Pizza, Mr. Kick Save, 41. All with 2. And then, like I said, 15 games played. I mean, that's who they're riding. John Gibson's not too far behind with 13. So, do you want to talk about anything else on those Sims right now?
For how high scoring the Sims are, the save percentages are also pretty high.
They are. I really look forward to there's going to be adjustment on it where they are able to put the shot types up on the index. So we'll be able to see kind of what type of shots these goalies are really facing. Are they high dangerous shots? What are they facing constantly? So that will definitely be something I'm looking forward to seeing. And then let's go into, so that will wrap up our kind of weekly recap of the sim. We'll get back into just our mugs. There they are. And let's go into our second topic. So just to try to see, just for fun. So say you weren't drafted by St. Louis. Where would you have wanted to go in the J? You have to name one team. Where is that other team that you would have? Yep, only one. Where would have been your other destination that you would have loved to go to?
Just purely on scouting, I probably Quebec.
Quebec. I loved my scouting time with the Quebec GM 2 years ago.
3 different scouting conversations with them. They're like, if you fall this far, we'd love to have you. It didn't happen, but
my answer would actually surprise people. Vancouver, just because I've been a noted Vancouver hater. It's fun. I enjoy it. They are whale hunters, and I always like to point that out. And so I just think that that's where I'd want to go, just to be on the other side of the hate fence.
Go from the haters to the lovers.
Yeah, defend the name. I'd have to defend the name every single time. So we do have a little bit more time. Let's go into award winners.
Yes.
Let's talk about some of those. Did you watch the award show?
I watched the J part. I didn't catch much of the SHL one.
Did you watch it? Did you watch Ace's version, or did you watch
the version that's no longer available?
Oh, you watched that one.
Yeah.
Okay. So I did too. And I was rolling because when it came time for your award, when it came time for them on the award that you're nominated for, it was like gushing over Toaster. It was like, Toaster's awesome.
Very often.
I love Toaster. Toaster's the best. And then it came to my award, and it was like, we don't know who he is.
Who's this guy?
It's like, man. I was like, I'm hurt by that.
Got more fingers around the league than I do.
I'm all over the league right now.
My jobs are all behind the scenes. You got the important ones.
So we don't have enough time to go through all those. I mean, a lot of them were already kind of decided just based off of stats. And then there was, top goaltender was Ellis Sodberg. Sorry, I was reading the comment. Ellis Sodberg won the Cedric Robinson Top Goaltender Award out of Quebec City. Ivan Ivanovich won the Top Defender Award. It looks like there's kind of a mix-up on how it's kind of broadcasted. It was the Metzler on the website has Dieter Frustruck from Anchorage listed, kind of highlighted as the winner, but it was Lancer Frappe according to the vote numbers and according to the slides. So Lancer Frappe was the top defensive defender. That one I was a little bit shocked at. He definitely deserved it, but what Dieter did, all-time J shot block record holder, just gave up his body for Anchorage for 4 straight years. And then going down to top defensive forward, Slava Kassianenko won it for Newfoundland. Alex Light Trophy, the most improved player, went to Ethan Cross out of San Diego, tied.
Which those numbers were very interesting to look at. For Ethan Cross, yes. 49 points the season before, 103 last season.
Just absolutely, completely changed it on it. And then Rookie of the Year. It went to Benoit Jean-Luc Bouchard out of Thunder Bay. Emo LeBron was the user. He ran away with points. It really was not surprising that he won that award at all. Definitely well deserved. Sometimes it's really rough to be, especially in this class, it's rough to be a rookie in this class just because there's so many great rookies. And when you're going for the Rookie of the Year, and there's so many great rookies in the class, it's just such a hard award on it. Mm-hmm. And then most valuable player went to Ethan Cross out of San Diego Tide. Again, just kind of
No surprise.
Going back to his numbers, most outstanding player was Ellis Sodberg for Quebec City goalie. Yep. Hedek won the postseason most valuable player award, and also the most underrated player award. And I ended up coming in second in the voting on the most underrated player award, which somebody in the Anchorage locker room made a really good point on that. Coming in second on most underrated is actually winning the most underrated award, because if you won it, you're not really that underrated. But coming in second, you're underrated.
So, positive spin on it.
I appreciated the positive spin. No doubt about it. Winning the GMs of the year 7 and Kari winning the 4-star cup. Definitely well deserved. And then most dedicated user, SD Core getting that one. Really good options in that one between him, you. I was actually in there. I didn't make the top 4. I didn't know that until I just saw the vote totals. BV, Raj, James T, just so many really great users in there, but Corey definitely deserved to win it just because of everywhere and all the work that he's been doing, making this transition to FHM 10. Just overall well deserved award on that one. And then
Commissioner Award of an Excellence to BV. Well deserved there.
Absolutely. BV's a great user. Always in the Discord, always talking, helping rookies.
Always helping out. Great deep dives. Amazing articles on the media.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I want to say that the fact that there's so many deep dives going on right now. There is a ton of deep dives on the website. Go check them out. Definitely worth a lot of reads. There's one that we may touch base on a future episode, depending on what happens, and kind of talk about that. But
I know which one that is.
Yeah, just so many great deep dives. Definitely worth just kind of spending some time and reading it. Some of the recreates have went back into time to look at old trade deals, just player lessons, history lessons. Some really good deep dives on the website right now, and that's the one thing that I would suggest everybody just kind of check out and get.
It's a little sad we couldn't do deep dives our second year, but
I know, right? I would love it. No, unfortunately, 7 won't win it because he is building his expansion team, which it has yet to be announced unless it's been announced the past 3 hours when I haven't been on the forums. So something that I like to do before we wrap up, we have a couple more minutes left. Something on the website. So we want this show to be really helpful to new users. We want to talk about the J. We want to talk about everything going on. But we also want to be helpful to new users. So I want to try to give a tip an episode of something that you may not know how to find, and that may help you on the website. So my tip this week is that on the forums, there is actually a calendar, and let me go back to sharing my screen real quick.
That was something that I didn't even know was there until you pointed it out like a couple weeks in.
Yeah, let me switch up the media graphics. There we go. Okay, so this is the main forum page. If you come down, you'll see this button, which is the calendar. Now, all the dates aren't set in stone, so don't get mad at the league if they're off or running behind on something, but you can see where we're at. We are at the end of week 1 in the sim, and then you can kind of look at future dates. So, all through May is week 2, 3, and 4 of the sims, and then we go into the playoffs. Playoffs will reach into June, where they end right at the end of May on the finals. And then for those season 82 rookies or season 83 rookies, the 82 draft will happen the weekend of June 6th through the 8th, to be determined. There's also a lot of other dates that haven't been added, but to have an idea of what's going on when, where we're at in the league, go to the forum, click on calendar, and kind of just look at it, and it will definitely help you out. There's also another point. It says you can also get to the calendar in the more drop down along the top. That is also true. And there it is. And then also to get to trading cards is on there too, which nobody's answered the trivia question, which is who was the season 66 4-star cup champion to enter into a drawing for $100,000 for a Ruby card pack.
You're really trying to push this trading card addiction, aren't you?
I'm trying to. I need people. Rich, I am a calendar fan too. I absolutely love it. I love that it's on the website. I love that I'm able to look at it. It keeps me in line with what's going on and when. So I absolutely love it. Really want other people to know that there's a lot on the website that you can kind of go to and see. Even if you just get done chirping and you want to go, hey, what's going on? Scroll through it. So many great articles, so many great things on there. Use the website to your advantage. All right.
Want to get to a couple of questions from the...
Yes, that's exactly where I was going next.
Read your mind.
To finish it up, next week I will talk. I don't want to go too far over today. Sticking to an hour and a half. Next week we will go over the State of the Union of the J and some of the new rules that they implemented that I think are really, really great. Mm-hmm. So we will cover that next week. It is on the forum if you want to read about it and be prepared. So SMJHL tonight, we had some questions. Let's get into them. So Sean O'Brien asked, for Patrick, do you have my money? JK, sort of. I'll get it eventually. What are your goals this season as a Prodigy commissioner, both in sim and out of sim as a participant? First off, if you're talking about fantasy money, I did pay you. Check your Venmo. It is in there. It is not my fault you didn't check it. Number two, I'm just kind of looking at, I'm really enjoying helping some of the new players in Anchorage and just kind of seeing what they're building. So that is definitely what I'm looking forward to this year. Toaster, he asks you, after you toast things, do you like to see them cut triangular or rectangular? What do you like to see your hard work topped with? And why don't you like it when forks get jabbed into you? Are you more of a GIF or Skippy fan? Thank you for
the proper GIF there. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a proper GIF on it.
You've got GIFs and you've got GIFs, different things.
Yep.
Let's see. Let's run through there. Triangle cuts better, superior. Fight me.
Yep.
Butter usually go to, just like a little butter on there. Maybe a little jam. That's all right too. Does anybody like forks getting jabbed into them? I don't think so.
That is.
I just fight back. So
the forks in it is definitely kind of violent. I always I'm a peanut butter person. But if it's like morning, then it's butter.
Sure.
So is it Jeff or Skippy?
Jeff.
You didn't answer that last. Okay, there we go.
For sure.
All right. And then Visceral Potamus asked, I'm going to ignore the first one because this is SHL and we are the J.
J focused.
So number 2, if this is such a player-focused league, why is Perch still in Anchorage? Perch is still in Anchorage because he likes Anchorage right now. And he's always liked Anchorage. He just likes to demand trades. Should Vancouver rebrand? Yes. Stop being whale hunters.
No more whale haters.
No more whale hunters. Switch it up. Just be the whales. You can be the whales. I mean,
rebrand by moving to Ohio.
New Vancouver. What do you think of Thunder Bay's blistering start? 40 Jeff's move to get a high draft pick. Only Troy knows for sure. Yeah, pasta. I know you're on Thunder Bay, and I'm sorry. That's a rough start. We've talked about it. I don't want to rehash it too much. So rough start. And who's the bestest turtle? That would be you, Pasta. You are the bestest turtle.
Clear choice there.
Colonel Sanders asked the SHL question. I can't answer it. But we can. We are 2 weeks out of the SMJHL draft, so I'll switch that up. Which team do you feel like had a really great SMJHL draft? Toaster.
Best among the top was obviously Anchorage. Anchorage knocked it out of the park with all their picks.
I don't want to be a homer answer, but I feel like the way that we drafted absolutely was the best way.
It was a fantastic draft that you guys had. We only drafted 4 people in St. Louis, but all 4 have been very active, great pieces that we added.
Good.
Doesn't show it yet. Newfoundland adding.
Yeah, that's who I'd say. I feel like Newfoundland had a really great draft, especially considering where they started. They didn't really have a whole lot of picks. They traded for picks, traded for players, really built it up. That was a really great draft for Newfoundland, and it's showing off right now. I mean, the work, the proof's there. With the growth the J has seen the last couple seasons, do you think expansion is in order? Alternatively, do you think adding a 4th line is a possibility? I think we'll touch on the first part of that question on a later episode. I don't want to dive too much into the weeds with only 5 minutes left. I don't like the idea of having 4th lines. We have them in World Juniors. And it kind of sucks if you're a 4th line player.
Yeah, I feel like I heard they had them for a little bit, and they do not want to go back to that.
No.
I don't remember who I was talking to in a scouting conversation, but
no, I just think it's so hard. It's really, really hard. If you're a player and you're playing 8 minutes a game, that's just no fun, and I just don't think it would be worthwhile. What would you recommend to users who want to get more involved in the league but might be hesitant to do so? My answer on that is just kind of join in conversations in the Discord. I've met a lot of friends. I mean, Toaster, you're living proof of somebody that we didn't know each other coming into the league, and we just kind of built a really good friendship through the Discord just by talking and not working together in any of the areas of the SHL, but just by talking on the username.
Different teams, different site jobs, everything. But just talking on Discord.
Once the SHL expansion goes by, there will be a drain in the SMJHL. That is very true. There'll be players getting called up a little bit faster. And that's a very good point. Please rank your class S82 class picks 1 through 96 based on their usernames.
All right, get started.
That is for another day. I will say that Toaster, I honestly love your username on the site. And then I love Sandman's nickname on the Discord. Those would be my 2 choices.
Solid picks.
You have anything on that?
Another episode. We'll get into
that. 96. We're going to really kill time with that one.
For sure.
What's scarier, one giant bear-sized spider or like 200 normal-sized spiders?
What's classified as a normal-sized spider?
That would be my question on it, too. Rex asked why he was late. No, you're not late. We're almost done, though. I mean, in my head, a normal sized spider is gonna be like kind of like a Black Widow size, I guess. I mean, and that's scary, and I don't think there's a great answer, but like, am I getting dropped right in front of this thing, or are they like? I would pick the 200 size spiders and hope that I can like get in something enclosed.
Yeah, for sure. Like, what do I have around me to use with the spider? A lot of questions.
That came from Southie. And then Matt Blue asked, which two teams, J teams, are surprising you the most for good reasons, bad reasons? We talked about it a little bit, but the Thunder Bay surprises me, and Nevada surprises me just because of the bad starts. I mean, that it's a rough start for them, and that's the biggest surprise. I think Quebec City kind of close there too for being at the top when I kind of thought they were going to be more of a middle team. Same with UConn.
Yeah, my two there were Quebec for how high they are based on TP, and then obviously Thunder Bay struggling to get moving.
Yep. And then Flyers fan, question for Toaster, who's your favorite teammate and why is it him?
I'm the captain. I can't answer
that. Congrats on the captaincy. I didn't know.
Thank you. Yep, alternate captain last season. Captain this season.
BVS, something that we've kind of pounded into the ground. Nevada and Thunder Bay are towards the bottom of the J.
How can you stop bleeding? Apply Band-Aids and pressure.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just not good right now. And then final question of the show. Toaster, who's the best kisser on St. Louis Scarecrows and why?
The standings show it. It's got to be Swiffer Sweeper.
Swiffer Sweeper. Hey, you guys are getting a bunch of kisses going on right now, being in that
chemistry building.
Being right there at the top of the league. You love to see it. Third place. Well, Toaster, any last words?
Hopefully they let us do more of these. This was fun.
Absolutely. Had a blast. I appreciate you joining me. Thank you guys for tuning in. Everybody out there in SHL Universe, you are loved, and I hope you have a great weekend. Bye-bye.